Hello again, John Wild here to give you a repair tip for your vintage ideal Evel Knievel action figure. As many collectors of Evel Knievel know, finding an Evel Knievel with a good helmet is a pretty hard proposition. Most of the time when you find these figures, you'll notice that the helmets are damaged very much, and that's because of the nature of the toy. Sending Evel Knievel down the ramp and then having him jump thing led to spectacular crashes, and the helmet was where a lot of the damage ended up happening. Here's a comparison of probably the most damaged Evel Knievel helmet I have in my collection versus the most mini one. Here's a look at the two helmets off of the figure. As you can see, there's a little bit of damage on this one, but really not all that much versus this one over here, which definitely looks like he has crashed numerous times. Fortunately for me, during this year's Mego meet, I found a seller, Scott Brown, who had these replacement helmet decals that he was selling. So here's a closer look at the package that these decals come in. Again, it says Evel Knievel helmet replacement decals. Can be used for ideal and playing mantis figures. Here's a look at the back of the package, and we can see at the top it has some before and after photos, and it gives us the directions. The directions are as follows: paint the helmet white and the rim black. Peel the sticker decals. Refer to the pics for correct detail placement. These are not paper decals. They are premium 6-year vinyl UV outdoor grade computer die cut decals, and they were made by AA Designs at nctc.com. Now when I went to try and find this website to see if these were still available, they are not. So I'm not exactly too sure where you can get these now. If Scott Brown watches this video, maybe he knows where you can still get them, but I can tell you where I got them from, and I got them from Scott Brown. So I guess first things first, we're going to take this helmet and we're going to give it a new coat of white paint. The paint I'm going to be using is Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint and primer. Now that we've got the top coat on the white, the instructions tell us to next put a coat of black paint around the opening on the helmet. Let's get that done. So there you have it. There's a little bit of black around the opening of the helmet. So far so good. So we added the black detail on the helmet, we've spray painted the helmet white, and now it's time to put on our replacement decals. This decal sheet actually is a lot more detailed than what the ideal release was. So what you get is a decal set that is actually representative of the helmet that Evel was wearing in the mid 1970s, early to mid 1970s. So we have an Evel. We have the Color Me Lucky, which is one of his little logos. We got the Harley Davidson emblem, and we have the stars and a blue stripe with a little bit of red detail on it. And the helmet's going to look a lot more authentic to what Evel was wearing at the time. And again, the instruction sheets show you how you're supposed to do that. So it looks like the stars and stripes go on either side, just like the ideal release. Looks like you put on the Harley Davidson symbol on one side, and the Color Me Lucky on the other, and the Evel right down the center. So let's get to putting on these decals. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to use a vintage helmet to kind of help me line up exactly where these need to go. Looks like it goes a little bit further over onto the helmet, and I'm going to line it up using the other helmet. Looks like that's pretty far to the outside there. So there's the two stripes put on. It's looking really good. So it looks like on this side we're going to put the Harley Davidson. Looks like there's a seam there that you can kind of line up and put it on. Perfect. Then there's the Color Me Lucky. And I'll just line it up using the center line of the helmet. Go back just a little bit. Nice. So here's our final piece that we're going to put on, which is the Evel. Get a look at that. Just a bit. Looks right. Yeah, that's all right. Perfect. Okay, so there you go. That's it. Let's take a look at that sucker. So now we got the Harley-Davidson symbol on the one side, restored stripes, and we've got the Evel stripes on the other side, and the Color Me Lucky. But that really turned out really nice. Let's put it on the figure and get an overall. Project completed and helmet onto the Evel figure. So we got two Evel figures. We got the one that we showed off earlier. It has a really nice helmet, and we noticed that the blue is definitely a little bit more dark than the vintage. The vintage kind of has a little bit of a metallic look to it versus the sticker, which is just a straight blue. I also noticed too that the helmet that I used for this restoration, actually when I must have made a repair on it at some point in time, it's actually a little bit smaller around the visor where, you know, he's looking out than a undamaged helmet. So you know, getting a helmet that's a beater and using these restoration stickers, you can definitely get a little bit of a neater effect to it. So for a customizer or someone that wants to customize their Evils, this sticker set would be a great option for you. And I'm really happy the way that it turned out. The helmet being a little bit whiter, because these outfits have a tendency to be a little bit more off-white. This is a pretty white one back here. That kind of, maybe you might want to use, instead of a real glossy white, maybe a little bit more of an off-white, maybe an antique white might work a little bit better, so it just doesn't stand off as much as being really, really white versus the outfit. But, you know, overall, I'm really pleased with this. I think it'll look great on a display on our figure that's riding inside of a vehicle, or even, what the heck, you know, if you wanted to restore your childhood one and you wanted to use the same helmet again, you didn't want to replace it, this would be a great option to have a brand new looking figure with just a little bit of effort, and it wasn't really that hard of a project. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, please subscribe and check out my other videos. I have a couple restoration stuff and a little bit of reviews of toys, so I do a little bit of everything. So thanks much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.